Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral. We have with us Riya Singh, technical analyst, Currencies, joining in. Good morning, Riya, and welcome to the show. Let's start the discussion today with regards to what's happening with the pound. Yesterday's session as well, we've seen some smart gains that have come in, and from here on, overall, all eyes have been what would be announced with regards to the new fiscal deployment measures. Uh, Overall, what's the sense that you pick up from here on? Do you see the strength that will continue?
Yes, good morning, Hiral. Yesterday, actually, the pound gained on the back of the fiscal measures. UK's Sunak announces COVID stimulus plan. So this plan that he had announced amounts to 30 billion pounds of fresh measures in order to add into the current steep decline or the steep decline that we are seeing into the UK economy. It is heading for a steep recession. So I think the fiscal measures that have come in has definitely boosted up the sentiment into the pound for the coming sessions. The If you look at the statement that was released by him, it is directed. The whole measure is directed to a sector which is quite affected, and it won't be reopened as soon as the other activities. It will be the last sector to open up in the economy. The targeted money will be headed for the hospitality industry, the housing market there, and the construction market. uh, he has also emphasized a lot on the with respect to the job creation and want to avoid the mass employment uh, due to this COVID-19 situation. So yes, it will definitely help into the to aid into the economic recovery to some extent. But if you look at the total fiscal measures that have been released, is actually quite a fraction of what has been promised, or what is the targeted fiscal measures that the UK has set for itself in order to bring up the economy. And though there is, the same thing can be reflected into the gains that we saw into the pound yesterday. It was not much, or as it was expected to be go. It was very a fraction of momentum that we saw. And also, if you look at the chief economic statement coming from the Bank of England, there they have stated that though there is a pickup into the economic activities and the recovery, pickup into the recovery is heading before it was expected. It has been coming before the expected timeline. But obviously there is a lot of uncertainties that is still there into this recovery. There is a still second wave risk that is there. Then obviously, will the numbers that are coming in will sustain? Will the fiscal measures will actually work out into the plan? Because like we have discussed, the basic retail such as restaurants and pubs, they cannot just shutter up uh, before this the pandemic numbers subsidized. So I think going forward there can be some boost that we can see into the pound, but obviously it wouldn't be much. So you cannot expect a major momentum into the pound. For the coming session, there can be a short green shoot up, but obviously, with respect to the fiscal measures that have been released, it is quite a fraction of what has been promised by the UK's finance ministry. So I think there will be a very short run into this green momentum for the coming session.
Right. So Riya, it's clearly telling us that everyone who's trading right now with regards to currencies is mainly focusing on what the Federal Reserve does as well as the loose monetary policy. Now, if that continues, good. But do you think there is a sense to worry about Brexit when it comes to trading the British pound?
Yes, obviously, has been a major component of pound, as you know, from the point this issue started off. Uh, it did gain, some of the traction when it started off. There was a lot of debate and everything. But right now, if you see at the pace that it is going, it is not helping much to the pound. And even the cancellation of the Brexit meeting added on to the risk sentiment into the pound, due to which we are seeing quite a parallel phase that into the pound momentum as well. So going forward, if there is some middle ground that the two parties can come in order to discuss at least the basic the basic grounds, such as the fishing with respect to the fishing ground and the basic topics that was picked up. So I think there can be some good momentum that can happen into the pound, but going and looking at the pace of the Brexit negotiations and the meetings going on, I don't think so. There can be a much of can be much of expected, at least from the Brexit, so much with respect to looking at the positivity or bullish sentiment to come in from that part.
Right, yeah, that's an interesting point that you've made over here. But moving from there on, if you see with what's happening with the Indian rupee as well, do you think there is traction coming in, especially in terms of where the Indian bond yields go, as well as the kind of weakness that we're seeing in the Indian rupee?
Yes, surely if you look at the sovereign Indian bonds, it has been gaining for a third day straight. I think the reason behind it, there has been a breach of a technical level of 5.82% yesterday, but obviously there has been an expectation with respect to the OMOs. There is a hope that an OMO bond purchase will again come in uh, from the RBI, and there can be another announcement with respect to the easing out of rules when it comes to protecting the bank bonds in order to hold the price swings into the supporting market sentiment. Uh, there can be steps from the RBI in order to intervene, or to boost the demand for this fixed income securities. So I think this expectation is leading, uh, with respect to the OMO, is actually preventing the traders to for going short on the bonds for so now. Also, why we are expecting this OMO operation soon? Because the first OMO operation was done, with respect to the closure that happens on this, of the balance sheet of the central bank, and to get the the level of the profit uh, with respect to the, they have to transfer the dividend at the end of the financial year. So I think first MO was done with respect to that, and we did see quite an appreciation into the rupee. And if there is a second OMO that can happen, it will lead to another leg uh, into the appreciation of the rupee. So I think uh, the second OMO will basically happen in order to, to fund the second half of the government borrowings, because the borrowings will happen in order to boost the economic recovery. So I think the whole appreciation will be held if there is an another leg of the OMO happening. And also, if you look at the recent the factors, they have been supporting the rupee quite a bit. If you look at the trade account, it has been healthy. There has been a steady FII inflows, and there has been some return into the global risk sentiment. So there has been funds flowing to the riskier assets. So I think this is what actually aiding into the rupee appreciation for so now. But if you look at as to where these gains will go, or how much this gains will come into the effect in order to aid into the appreciation, I think it will be quite a limited, because RBI will continue to take part into any wild swings on either sides, because even they have to build up the dollar reserves. So going forward, I think you cannot purely depend on the FII inflows, because there has been a steady inflows, but it is not at the pace as it was before. A lot of it will also depend upon the numbers that will come in with respect to the economic recovery, and how fast there will be a pickup into the cross-border trade. I think that will be a major part, because it will directly reflect into the current account deficit uh, of the country. So will the gains hold on to? I don't think so. It will be, as much as it was previous. We cannot definitely see a rupee testing the levels of, previous levels such as 71, 72. I think it will be quite curbed, even as far as the appreciation goes. So we are definitely seeing an appreciation as far as 74.50 or 73.80, not farther than that, even for the entire financial year.
Right. So overall, Ria, what would be the strategies that you would want to recommend for today?
For intraday trading, I think you can definitely trade into, just let me share my screen. Yes, so you can definitely look onto the rupee pair. I think the reversal that it has been witnessed, and it has given a higher highs and higher low closure on the daily chart for a straight
Mm.
3 days. So I think it will definitely have a good momentum if it breaches the support of 75.31 into the coming session. So definitely go for a long into the pair above 75.31. So 75.31 will be the resistance for today. Go long above that. The second, you can definitely go for a pound. As we have discussed, there has been quite a positivity that we are seeing into the pound right now with the current development. So if you look at the daily chart, it is giving a green opening every from the past three sessions. So any open above 94.35 will be a good long for the pair. It has been resisting the longer moving average on the daily chart. So I think any open above 94.35 will be a strategy to go long into the pair for the coming session.
Right. So that's with regards to where the rupee dollar pair and the pound are concerned. Thank you, Ria. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing the strategies for today, as well as with your view with what's happening on the pound as well as the Indian rupee. Thank you so much.